You know, there's nothing like being in the green room, and the experts, they showed up this morning, this evening, this afternoon, no matter what time it is. They showed up really to change your life. They showed up to share their best lessons. They showed up to share their insider secrets that can help you today, to help you win today. And they are in the building. What's going on, guest experts? Give me a little love. How you doing out there? Give me a little love. Give me a little love. For all the folks who are showing up, they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, look, they're serious. They're ready. It's not about me. It's all about them. So let's jump in and let's find out their first name, their last name, the name of their topic, and where they're broadcasting in from. So, Fiona, if you would, lead off, please.
Hi there, everyone. I am Fiona James. I am from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and my topic is pivot points, strategies for overcoming obstacles in business and life. Glad to be here.
All right, now when you said pivot point, we don't even know what that means. I mean, pivot means different things to different people. It really does. And so I'm curious, can you take about 60 seconds? I know we get started. We're in the green room, but why should people even pay attention? There's some single moms out there that worked all day. There's some dualpreneurs that worked on their job and now working on their business. They're watching. They're tuned in. Why should they tune in to listen to you talk about pivot?
More importantly, to pivot means to kind of rotate or move or adjust. So in life, many things happen. We hit highs, we hit lows, okay? And so oftentimes we have to learn how to shift and maneuver and pivot to make sure that we're going in the right direction, especially when you're dealing in business. If you're, like you said, if you're a single mom, we're always adjusting. We're always adjusting our schedules. We're always having to make sure that the family's taken care of, that the kids are taken care of. And so making sure that we have the right movement, the right motion to further get us to where we need to be.
You know, I'm curious, as you're talking about pivot, Latoya's over here listening. She's smiling and grinning. I'm curious on what's going on in her mind right now. Like, what does she think about? And don't worry, Barry has his own definition of pivot as well. So don't worry, they're ready to jump in right now. So Latoya, take a minute or so, and when you hear her talk about pivot, we want to know what's going on in your mind right now.
Pivot is talking about moving to me. And I love what she said. You have to be ready as a single mom or just life general. You have to be willing to adjust and shift as necessary to get where you want to be.
Barry, you heard the word pivot points. That's what you said. Pivot point.
Right.
What's going through your mind, my man?
You know, I think in 2020, it was the word of the year, pivot. It was making adjustments. You know, we were used to doing things in a certain way, and so many businesses, companies, individuals had to learn how to pivot and make those adjustments. And you saw that some were very successful at it. Some, struggled going through making those pivots.
That's so important. Don't worry, we're in the green room. I can ask any question I want. Latoya's coming up in the moment. Don't worry about that. But Fiona decided not to leave you on the edge. She said, I'm not going to leave you on the edge of the cliff. So she's going to give you one idea right now for those folks that need to pivot. She couldn't wait to share this one idea. I don't even know what it is. She'll have more ideas. But if you can, go ahead and share, please, the one idea that you have right now.
Well, it's like 3 in 1, actually, Shay. So in order
we're in the green room. She's bursting with energy, but I'm going to ask her more on the other side. So give us one in the time we have.
One is to be bold.
Okay. Which means what? Just tell us what it means.
In order to be bold, when pivoting, a lot of times we hesitate to make a move, to make a turn, to adjust, right? And we often wonder if the next move is the right move. So my thing as far as being bold is to step out on faith, make that move, be bold in it, walk in authority in it, and just go for it.
Be bold and go for it. I love it. Can't wait to get on the other side. I know you'll tell us how you pivoted. We're all waiting for you. Coming up next is the one and only Latoya. We'll go to Latoya now. Latoya, tell them your first name, where you're broadcasting in from, and your topic. First, last name, topic. You know how this works by now.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am Latoya Carr-Griggs, all the way from Meridian, Mississippi. And my topic is tonight, broken to rebuild, hacks for a comeback.
Okay, broken to refill. I'm going to ask the same thing I asked them. Why this topic? Why now?
All right, Shay, broken to rebuild. That means sometimes you go through life. A lot of us go through a lot of issues where we feel like we're broken. All of our pieces are shaken up, and you don't know how to put those things back together again. So sometimes we have to be broken to get to our next level. And if you are willing to put those pieces back together again, if you're willing to take the necessary steps to rebuild your life, you can be a comeback champion too.
Barry, they're wondering as you talk about broken, what's kind of going through your mind right now?
I am a Gulf War veteran and was in the military. And one of the things I remember at 18 years old going into basic training is they had to break me down as the person that I was to build me back up as a soldier. So I can totally relate to what she's talking about in regards to that.
Don't worry, Fiona's on the other side. Yes, she's talking about pivoted, but she heard you talk about broken. So, we want to know what you're thinking as well right now.
Right. So broken to rebuild is actually, I think, a pivotal moment in most people's lives, right? So whenever we go through anything in life that breaks us down, that hurts, that's uncomfortable, it's actually, I typically tell people use those pieces, those broken pieces, to build something greater. And so to be broken is not always a bad thing. It's not a negative thing. Uncomfortable, yes. Hurt, maybe. But it allows you to take and rebuild and create something far better than what was before.
I'm loving it. Latoya, the folks are tuned in, taking time away from their family right now. They could be cooking dinner right now, and you could be in their ears. It could be at the gym in their ears. They might be driving down the road right now, just listening through their phone. And they're like, I'm broken now, Shay. You asked Fiona to give one idea. Ask Latoya, like, what's one thing she could give me now? Like one idea she can give me now, and if I'm broken, what would you say to that person who's listening right now? If you had 60 seconds. I know it's unfair, and we're going to get into a deep dive on the other side, but they want to hear from you right now. What would you say to that person?
All right, so I'm going to tell you to use the hacks, and I'll go through in deep details on the HACKS. So the first H is always being honest with yourself. And we'll go into it a little bit deeper, but use these hacks, and you can use it from any area of your life to have that greater comeback.
Love it. Thanks a lot. All right, Barry's over there. You got Dr. Teresa Mosley's out there. Candace Johnson's out there. What's going on? Daryl, my man, what's happening? Barbara Backley, what's up? You got to connect with her. You got to get you back on. So, make sure you send Lauren a note. And everyone is out there watching. Thank you so much. I see you, Calvin, and my man, Melissa, down there in Tennessee. Thanks for joining. Barry, you know the drill by now. You've been listening. He's been quiet, so he's had time to get himself together. And so we want to know your first name, your last name, your topic, and, of course, where you're broadcasting in from.
So my name is Barry Overton. I am currently in Chicago, Illinois, but I live in Denver, Colorado. We're on vacation right now. And my topic is personal development and business growth and how the two mesh together. And you can't have business growth without first having the personal development.
Okay. And folks are probably wondering, why'd you decide to vacation where you are right now? I know we're going to get into the business growth, but he's on family growth right now. So we're kind of curious, like, why the spot he picked now? Like, you got to pick a lot of spots to go visit, but he wants to vacation where he is now. We're just curious. You don't have to answer the question. It might be a little personal, but why'd you decide this spot where you are now?
Well, it is personal, but I'm open to share it. It's personal because it's for my son. He graduated from high school, never been to Chicago, so we decided that we wanted to make this trip something special for him. We've had a ball. We've been here since Friday. We leave tomorrow morning, and it's been a great trip.
Congratulations. See, Barry's a human being, by the way. So folks that are out there, by the way, certainly appreciate you being authentic. They didn't give me any questions to ask, ladies and gentlemen. They said, Shay, we're just hanging out, okay? We're here to serve. We're here to add value. We're here to change life. So you gave us your topic. Why did you pick that topic? And I asked the other two individuals that question as well. Why that topic? Why now?
Well, it was really going through my own growth in business. See, I spent 26 years in law enforcement. And when I got into business in 2013, there were struggles that I went through. And the only way that I overcame the struggle was through the personal development that I had. Otherwise, I would still likely be in the struggle. And I've been able to watch other people and realize that the difference between people that are having great success, mediocre success, or no success starts with the foundation of personal development.
It's all about personal development. Latoya, as you're listening over there, you're talking about personal development. I know we got a show to get going, and we're still in the green room, but personal development, when you heard those words, what went through your mind?
I'm working on self, always doing self-improvement, self-care. I found that self-improvement is the lasting and foundation for self-help. Like starting, taking care of you first, developing you, putting your own oxygen mask on before you help others. That way you can give the best of you to each and everybody every day.
Says so well. I'm super excited for those folks that are out there watching. We're going to get started. We've got a show. We're going to get on the other side. They're going to give you the 1, 2, and 3. They're going to give you some takeaways. Do me a favor. Hit the share button. We ain't got started yet, but they've given so much value already. Hit the share button. Pay this message forward. We got a show in 5. I can't wait. 4, 3. It's my favorite thing to do. 2, 1. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower. Our mission is to improve. And our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And I like to always share that I believe you have 3 visions. And I do this almost every show because it's really ingrained, right? I believe first you have a vision for yourself. They talked about self-care. So there's a certain way that you want to live. There's certain vacations you want to take. There's a certain home that you want to be in. And it takes revenue to purchase those resources to make that a reality. And then there's a second vision I believe you have. You have a vision for your loved ones. I mean, the ones you care the most about. The ones you want to send to a school of your choice. The relative or someone you care about, you want to write a check for their health care insurance. Or some of you want to write a big check for a cause that you believe in, and it takes, well, revenue, I hate to say that, it's to purchase those resources to make it a reality. And the third vision, which I think is the most important vision, I really do, I believe it's why you're on this planet, is you have a vision for something much bigger than you. That takes much more energy than it's you. You have a vision for all those people out there that you were called to serve. And I always like to use the analogy of Noah in the Bible, and you don't have to be a believer. I'm a believer, so you don't have to be a believer, but you can still relate to the story because imagine that you're Noah in the Bible and you're on this mission. And you've been given all the experience from God. You've been given all the expertise, and you're ready to get going. And right before you get going, there's a knock at the door. Boom, boom, boom. And someone's out front. They're yelling, yo, 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 Noah. They did say yo back in the day. I always want to let you remind y'all of that. He said, what's going on? Well, there's a problem. There's no hammers in the house. Noah doesn't worry. No worries. We're going to work around that. Like some of you have some challenges you got to work around. And then there's another knock at the door. Boom, boom, boom. And someone's like, Shorty, Shorty. They did say Shorty back in the day as well. There's a problem. There's no nails in the house. No hammer, no nails. Rule number 1, you never panic. But then there's someone in the back. And they're like, Noah. Me, back here. He's like, what's up? And they say, there's no people and there's no wood. Good luck on this mission. And maybe that's you right now. This morning, this evening, this afternoon, maybe you're going through some things. Don't worry. The guests all showed up to help you really realize that vision you have and make it to another level. So let me say hello once again to the guests. Give me a little energy. Give me a little energy. Give me a little energy out there. There you go. Give me a little energy. Yes. They're pushing energy out to you. They're pushing energy out to all of you out there right now because this is your moment. This is your time. We're going to start off with Latoya. We're going to No, yeah, Latoya. We're going to jump right into it, and I'm going to ask her. To share her first name again. Some of you weren't in agreement. Her last name, where she's broadcasting in from, and then the name of her topic, so you can be very, very clear. Don't worry as you're listening. Fiona will be coming up shortly as well. But Latoya, please jump right in. Tell us your first name, last name. You know the drill.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am Latoya Carr-Griggs, all the way from Meridian, Mississippi. And my title is Broken to Rebuild, Hacks for a Comeback.
Now, the folks want to know first, when you tell us all the wonderful stuff that we got to do, they might be curious. I know I'm curious. Heck, Barry might be curious. Heck, Fiona might be curious. Can you take about 90 seconds and give us the backstory? Like, what was the moment that you decided that you wanted to help do this with folks? Give us a little bit of the backstory that led you to where you are now. We want to know. I know it wasn't part of it, but we're all curious.
All right, absolutely. So think about this, Shay. 2010, you lose your career, you lose your home, you're almost at the point of you about to lose your children and lose your mind. Okay, we've all had those issues where a lot of things are going on and you're like, how am I going to get back? Do I give it all up? Or do I come on in and come out fighting and swinging because I know it is greater? And that is how those hacks for a comeback got replayed again over and over in my life so that I can be a comeback champion, baby.
And were these hacks that you discovered by yourself, or was there a mentor or someone along the way that helped kind of pull you to see these hacks?
Well, yeah, I did have mentors. I had family. I've had friends and support. And then, too, of all is prayer. I mean, I really had to pray my way out of some situations and ask for leadership and guidance through this. So when I say those hacks for a comeback, that HACKS, anybody can use them. Anybody that decides they are ready, they are willing to put those shattered pieces back together again, apply those hacks and watch how your life turns around.
We're going to give her a moment to talk about the hacks. You see, she's very passionate. If I had to start with the hacks, she'd jump right. I got the hacks. We got it. You got the hacks, right? But, your story was very powerful, the backstory that you were sharing. And I'm curious, as Fiona's listening right now, and she heard just your backstory and the passion of what you had to go through, what's going on in your mind? Because I'm sure there's some folks out there, some men and some women that can relate to her story.
Yeah, most definitely. Her story actually briefly reminded me of why I came up with the topic that I have today. But we hit different points in life where, as we talked about the agreement, where you're broken, and you have to pull yourself up out of a certain place, out of that place of darkness or fear, or just feeling defeated, and so in that process, just knowing that you can, and of course there are steps and tools that you have to utilize to get there as well. So I can definitely relate to that.
Well, you got some hacks. She can relate to it. I can relate to it. For those folks that are home, do me a favor. Hit the share button. Don't worry. I'm going to ask for one of the hacks right now. But hit the share button and pay this message forward. We believe in the giver's economy. The person out gives the competition out earns the competition. The person out gives the competition out earns the competition. So shout out to Ghazi that's out there right now. Shout out to Karen. Karen's up in New York. So nice to name it twice, by the way. I know that's not new original, but I don't know that she's in the house. And so many of you that are tuned in, we thank you for your time. All right, Latoya, you've been talking about these hacks and these hacks and these hacks. So we've been hacked out. So please give us what the acronym is so we can all write it down right now.
All right, y'all take your pencils out and let's get it to it. Okay, so you have the H, the A, the C, the K, and the S. And that first one that I'm going to give you is being honest. You have to be honest with yourself to decide, okay, what part did I play in this? And what do I need to do to get myself from where I am now to where I want to be? Okay. So being honest with yourself, figuring out what part that you play in this, where you want to be in life, because sometimes you don't even know the place that you were broken or the things you were pulled from might not be where you're supposed to be. And you have to decide, is this for me? Was this the life I was supposed to be living, or was that somebody else's opinion?
So the first step is to be honest with yourself. Someone do me a favor, write in the comments right below, no matter what platform you're watching in, go ahead and write that word H, honest. Be honest with yourself. Got it. What's the second H-A? Yeah, what's the next letter in the acronym? I like this, by the way.
Oh, okay. I can go on through. the next one is going to
Of
be
course.
A.
I mean, that's why you're here. You
Action.
can't leave us and say you got these hacks and don't tell us to be honest with ourselves. I mean, I'm thinking about it. Barry's thinking about it. We're all like, what are these hacks? So
Right.
I'm going to turn the mic over to you and give us the last 3 hacks if you can. Just A, B, and C.
Okay, so the next one is going to be action. You got to take action. Then the C is going to be change, and in change you need to be consistent and persistent with it. So little bitty steps, little bitty changes make great impacts. K is knowledge, research. Get out there, find the tools that you have. There's plenty of tools out there. Learn what you need to learn so that you can move forward. And then last but not least is to serve. When you get it, go back and help somebody else along the way. So I gave you all the hacks.
We wanted all the hacks. That's why we showed up. We showed up because we want the hacks. You keep talking about the hacks. We want to know the hacks. Tell us about a time maybe in your life where you had to take action and you had to be persistent.
All right. So that will be the time when I had to start all the way over from ground zero. I have a 20-year career in nursing, and at one slate clean, wiped all the way, lost all of that, the opportunity of being a nurse. I also lost the opportunity of being a wife, so going through a divorce. Now I'm back a single mother with no job, no career, and having to pack up everything that you had, my entire life, in a U-Haul truck to move back home with your mom. I had to do some serious soul searching. I had to be really honest with myself. I had to decide if this is what I want, if this is what I wanted for me. And being a mother, being a parent, being a role model to so many, I had to show that strength. Even in the time of weakness, I had to show strength and show that I could find my way back. And I want to tell you about when I got a job. I pulled up in a U-Haul truck, still looking for a job. I drove the U-Haul to our WIN job center where you go in and fill out applications. And because they were doing a job fair that day, they were like, you go in. I didn't want to go in looking like I looked, but I know I had to do something. So even in my fear, even in that moment of the lowest point in my life, I still fought my way back. Got that job starting at $7.25 an hour, knowing it wasn't going to be enough, but it was better than zero. And from there, I worked myself into being an entrepreneur with several businesses, lucrative businesses, and getting myself out of that hole.
Wow, starting over. Barry, starting over is tough, but she was able to take action and persist. What say you, my man?
You know, I can so much relate to LaToya's story. Part of what I'm going to be speaking about falls on my story of mine was 2016, having the worst financial period in my life, along with losing a sibling and also losing my father during that time, and having to find a way to rise above that and get back on my feet. And 2017 turned into the biggest business year that I'd ever had. Outdid that in 18, outdid 19, I outdid 18. 2020 was a challenging year for everyone, but I was blessed to still have an amazing year there as well. And 2021 is on course right now to be the best year that I've had in business. So I definitely can relate to what LaToya is saying, and it just truly goes back to the comeback champion that we all have in us.
Yeah, so able to apply the hack, 2 of the hacks, which I love there, the action and persistent. And what was the K? The K was knowledge, right? Is that what I heard you say?
Yes.
Take a moment, if you would, and talk to the person like, there they go with that knowledge thing again, because, maybe getting outside their comfort zone is difficult. I know for me, technology wasn't quote unquote my thing, right? And I had no choice but to figure out my thing. And so my question to you is, talk to the person is like, I know I need to get some additional knowledge. It's outside my comfort zone. What advice would LaToya have for me? And don't worry, Fiona's going to jump in a minute after you, and she's going to get some advice that's going to help these folks out as well. We're all here to support each other. Don't y'all love this? Like, they all showed up just to give you the best they got. So if you haven't hit the share button, hit it now. This will bless you. What's up, guys? I see you. Thanks a lot. Don Leak is in the building. I see you. I can't shout everybody else out, but thank you all for tuning in. This is one of those episodes, truly, seriously, I mean this. I say it often, but I mean it with as much humble as I can. they'll change your life. These techniques work. All right, take it away.
So knowledge, and when I think about knowledge, is some people can only perceive what their mind gets. So you have to be willing to go outside of your comfort zone, as you said, and admit that you need help. You don't know it all. And you got to connect with the people that are doing what you want to do so that you can get the information. Not all the time do you have the resources. That's why another reason you want to gain knowledge, so that you can start earning those resources, doing whatever you need to do so that you can get a paid coach. But until then, it's so much free information out here. Soul searching, finding books that's dealing with whatever you're dealing with. People are writing their stories, and I believe in the power of testimonies and power of people's stories, so that you can apply it to your life every day. The colleges are giving free courses. 2020 was a pandemic, and it's supposed to have been the worst time in the world for a lot of people. I know we lost a lot of lives, but a lot of people, businesses really thrived during 2020 because they had to get out and work. They had to get out and make something happen because nothing else was coming in. And that was the time either you're going to sink or you're going to fly. And I'm telling you, a lot of businesses soared during a pandemic because you really had a chance to apply what you knew, what you learned. You started searching for new information so that you can grow. And then the knowledge that you did gain, you applied it. And I hope you went back and shared it.
Went back and shared it. Love it. Love it. Fiona, what's going through your mind right now?
Well, there's this saying that knowledge is power. And guess what? It is. So the more you know, the more you go and grow. And that's the key. So with knowledge, and again, as she mentioned, there is so much free information out there. Google is my very best friend. Look, Google has helped me research and find business opportunities, find remedies on the website on how to heal certain symptoms from sickness. So there's so much free information out there. It's available to you. Why not use it? If your goal is to excel in life and in business, then go look for the information. There are people that are there to help. Everyone is not a take, some people want to give and help as well. So just go seek out the knowledge. It will definitely empower you in the long run.
I love it. Latoya, thanks so much. Certainly appreciate it. I know you'll be coming back shortly and be sharing with us, what you do, what line of business are you in, and some other cool comments. So we can't wait. Thank you so much for sharing. We're going over now to Fiona, who was just talking, by the way. And I know y'all wondering, she's doing that talking. Shay, what's her first name? What's her last name? What's her topic? Where's she broadcasting in from? She's going to share that with you right now.
Again, my name is Fiona James. I am from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and my topic is pivot points, strategies to overcoming obstacles in business and in life.
We asked the same question to the other the guests as well, which is, what's your backstory? What's the origin? We call it the origin story. What was the moment that you decided that I've got to talk about pivot, that this is something that happened to me, that I had to pivot, so now I want to share with other folks? We want to know the backstory, the narrative.
Right. Well, the same year as Bear was 2016 here in Louisiana. Baton Rouge in particular was the Baton Rouge flood, the greatest flood that we had ever seen. And during that time and in that season, within my family, we lost 4 family members, 2 of those being the pillars of our families, which was my grandmothers, within like a 2 to 3 week time span on both my mom's side and my dad's side. And so we found ourselves mourning, those that we lost, as well as mourning the things, or grieving over the things that we had lost due to the flood, because we were actually displaced after that flood. Well, for me personally, of course, I'm trying to comfort the family. We're trying to comfort and love one another, but also my business suffered as well, because by that time I had gone full time into my business, and having to lose that, you're grieving, loved ones, you're grieving the loss of a business, and just implementing strategies and tools to help you heal, of course, and then rebuild. As Latoya mentioned earlier, in the green room, you have to pick up those broken pieces and rebuild and recreate what God, has given to you, so that you can actually further grow and develop and then be successful.
Love it. Barry, what's going on in your mind as she's talking over there?
First, Fiona, I just had to say, sorry for your loss. I can't imagine losing 2 grandparents in such a short period of time, but I can completely understand that loss. It was about 13 months between my brother and my father losing them, and then also with, just like you, having the worst financial year of my adult life. But it's just like you said, and for me, it was because I started my personal growth 6 years prior to this happening. I was prepared for it. I think if I hadn't started working on personal development at that time, I can't tell you where I would be right now. I think I really would have succumbed to the pressure, but it was through the personal growth for me that allowed me to really rise above that. And it definitely sounds like you've been able to do the same.
Thank you.
Yeah. So continue on if you would. Take a moment and give us one idea that we can use to pivot along this journey, if you would, Fiona. Fiona. I keep saying
Okay.
Fiona, but it's Fiona, right?
Yes, it's okay.
No, I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna get it right. Fiona.
Well, in pivot points, strategies to overcoming obstacles in business and in life, I actually give it's 3 strategies with a bonus, but I'm going to give you the first one, which is be bold, be courageous, and be you. Be the best you that you can be. And so in that is just simply saying, hey, step out on faith, jump, leap, do what you're called to do. Make sure that you go through the process though properly. Make sure that you heal. And then make sure that you, again, seek knowledge, seek information so that you can further develop and grow overall. And that kind of speaks to what Barry mentioned earlier as far as personal development is concerned. You have to take time for yourself. You have to make sure that you have done your due diligence and making sure that you are also prepared to step back out there so that you can also then help someone else also.
I love it. That's number 1. All right. You said you got 3, right? You said you got 3.
Yes.
You came
Yes,
prepared.
yes.
They came ready. They're not giving you 1. They're not giving you 2. They got 2, 3. I don't know what Barry got up his sleeve, but I hope he got at least more than 1 idea over there, man. We need more than 1 idea. All right. Give us another one as you're listening right now. What's number 2?
Number 2 is go ahead and follow your dreams. It's your time now.
Follow your
What are you
dreams.
waiting for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Follow your dreams. Your time is now. And then the third one is enjoy your success. Because after you have gone through some of the difficult points in your life or moments in your life, and you decided to step out on faith, right? And then you decided to go ahead and just take that leap, take that jump. It's time. It's gonna automatically lead you right into success. So go ahead and actually enjoy that. And then once that is done, the bonus for me was self-reflect. I always do self-reflections just to make sure that my heart is in the right place, my mind is in the right place, I am on point spiritually, so that I can go back and help someone else and then start the process over if need be.
What was the time where you had to self-reflect and you made some very important decisions? I was self-reflecting earlier today. So take us to one specific time where you had to self-reflect, and how did that change the trajectory of where you are now, if you can remember that. And don't worry, Latoya's over there thinking as well. She's had something like that happen to her as well. We're gonna hear what she has to say as well. But go ahead, please. We're all tuned into you right now.
Okay. I'll actually go back to around the time when everything seemed like it was just going south. We were losing so much. And there was a point in time where I actually felt defeated, right? And I felt myself actually sinking, and everything around me seemed to be crumbling. And so I took time out to just look within to see, okay, hey, hey sis, what you doing? Things are beginning to fall apart. You're not your normal self. You're not bouncing back. You don't have that joy. You don't have that peace. So what do you need to do? And so in that moment, of course, that's where the first point comes from as far as being bold. I had to first pick myself up, of course, seek help. Okay. A lot of people, May was mental health month. And so I actually sought out necessary help, whether it was from my youth pastor, whether it was from my parents. My dad is also a pastor as well. So finding people to also latch on to say, hey, I have this going on. This is how I'm feeling. This is where it's taking me. I need help in this regard. And then just kind of stepping out and being bold and saying, you know what? I'm going to take this thing by storm. I'm going to be courageous, and I'm going to do it because I'm coming back better than ever.
Woo, coming back better than ever. All right, Latoya, you heard her say coming back better than ever. What kind of went through your mind when you heard those words, coming back better than ever?
Well, masterpiece came to my mind, and I'm telling you, being bold, yes. Getting that self-help or seeking help, yes. But coming back better than ever, that's that masterpiece after you've been broken And sometimes we have several times where we're broken down, but coming back each time, the best is yet to come. And Shay, I found that once I put my face to the ground, it changed my whole world around. Do you hear me? So you have to be humble. And I'm telling you, back better than ever. That's a masterpiece right there.
I love it. Thanks so much for sharing, Fiona. Thanks for being open, by the way, and sharing your story and being so authentic. We appreciate that. Barry, we're going over to you now, man. Tell the folks where you're broadcasting in from, your first and last name, Barry, and, of course, your keynote topic.
Again, it's Barry Overton coming to you now from Chicago, Illinois, but I live in Denver, Colorado. And my topic is personal development and business growth, and how you must have personal development in order to grow your business.
Okay, well, we're going to turn over you. There's a number of folks on here who are entrepreneurs. They're speakers, authors, coaches, trainers, network marketers. Some of them own a franchise that are listening right now. They're like, okay, speaking my language, I'm all ears. Let's hear what Barry has to say. Shay, give it to him. Well, I'm turning over to you, man. Talk to us about the topic.
All right. So just a little bit about my background. 26 years in law enforcement. I started in business probably 25 years ago, but to go full all in 2013, I walked away from a six-figure income as a police officer and went all in as an entrepreneur. And it was the scariest thing that I had ever done, even being a police officer for 26 years. And during that first 3 years, it was great, but 2016 hit, and it was the worst point. It was the thing that I dreaded and why I hadn't ever left the police department before 2013. But it was really through the personal growth that I started in about 2008 and really focused on in 2010 that allowed me to be in a position in 2016 where I was psychologically unemployable, and people told me, well, your business is not doing well. You can go back and get your job back. And see, when someone said job to me, or they say guaranteed job, what that meant to me was just over broke. And I did not want anything guaranteeing me to be just over broke. So it was through that process. I actually wrote a book, just released it about 6 months ago. It's called Ignite Your Greatness. And in that book, I applied in 2016 these principles of belief, planning, and execution. And it was really through first believing that greatness was inside of me, as it is in all of us, and understanding that greatness, that I was able to know that, okay, this issue that I'm having right now, the reason I'm here is to create a story that a year from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, I can share with someone else, and it inspires them. So as I started building my belief and understanding that there was this special qualities that I had that I needed to be able to share with the world, there was no turning back in regards to the belief. Then it became the planning. And that was what we talked about in regards to knowledge and the power of knowledge. And Bruce Lee once said, knowledge is power only when applied. And that's the action also. So a lot of what Fiona and Latoya and myself are saying, we're saying the same thing, but we're saying it in a different language, so to speak. But it has the same message. And the beauty of it is you see the results from three different people of this message that's being shared. So the planning, and then like I said, the execution was the last piece. And I can tell you, we always talk about how fear can stop us from reaching our goals. And one of the things that I did is I reverse engineered fear. I fear not doing something and not achieving a goal. I can tell you, as a kid, I wanted to be a pro football player, and I quit on that dream in high school. And as I grew up and I was a police officer, I have a lot of friends that played in the NFL. And what it created for me is having those relationships was regret. And I can tell you,
No. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you. I mean, you was on the road. I mean, you were on the road. I could feel the passion. It's just my anxiety to get as much out you as fast as possible, which is why I'm trying to cut in just for a second, because I'm curious. What's the biggest challenge with people doing execution, right? So, I mean, executing the same thing as taking action. We were talking about that earlier. So, one thing my father used to say is that the best intentions don't always equal the best results. And so I want to ask LaToya first to kind of get her perspective as she heard you speaking just on execution. And then I'm going to come back over to you, Barry, to talk about, execution, because that's, for some folks, that's where they are. They already believe. They can't believe any more believing than they can believe right now. They've done all the planning they can plan. Now it's all about, taking massive action and pivoting when they have to, of course. So LaToya, as he talked about execution being one of the key components, that's a challenge on people back. What's your thoughts?
Yes, Shay. When it comes to execution, a lot of people think that they have to have it all together or they have to have everything to execute. No, you have to know that you are enough. You have enough in you to even get started. That's the majority of the time, the hardest part or the hardest thing for people is to get started. So I tell you, start where you are. Start with what you have and build upon that. Execute. Start.
You don't have to get it right. You just got to get going. LaToya, Fiona, what's going on in your mind right now?
I actually agree with LaToya. The key point to executing any plan is just to get started, and that's the whole thing. And not letting fear or the lack of knowledge that you may have stop you. And as we mentioned before, find what you need to make it to the end goal. You know what I'm saying? And so just execute it however you need to do that. Seek help, seek knowledge, seek understanding, and just go for it. Because no one can do you better than you first and foremost. So when you already have the plan, execute it to get the end result.
Now, you said plan. They said a couple of times, Barry, and I don't know if you had a chance to take a minute to talk about planning. For some folks, that's kind of where they are right now. They're like, well, okay, I would execute, but can he give me an idea on just creating my plan or what should I be planning, right? Because intellectually I get it, but he says, no, you should have a plan. So I know this might sound overly simplistic, but, sometimes it's easy to do and easy not to do. So take a moment, if you would. They're geared up and ready to execute, but some folks are like, I never got the plan part, Shay. He didn't get a chance to elaborate on that. So talk a little about having a plan, what type of plan they should have.
Yeah, Tony Robbins once said that in order to be successful, find someone that has achieved the success that you want and copy what they do until you achieve the same success. And I can tell you that is exactly what I've done in every business that I've started, is I found those people that were willing to share their plan of creating success in that particular business. And then I followed the plan, followed it to a T. And lo and behold, I achieved those same results over the course of time. We live in a world we don't have to reinvent the wheel anymore. It's been done. And if we can follow a blueprint of success, then it makes the most sense to do that.
I'm with you already. I'm smelling what you're cooking in the kitchen right now. It's making a lot of sense to me as we're doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, one thing we're going to do now is we're going to go around and we're going to ask each of them. And Barry, I certainly appreciate you being authentic. You were sharing your story, sharing your challenges, and sharing what you're going through personally. So we certainly appreciate that. I'm going to ask them if they each will take a moment, and we'll go Barry and then back around to tell you what line of business are they in. When do you want to know that? What type of clients do they work with, if they work with any clients? And how can you best connect with them? Like, how can you stay in the conversation with them over and beyond now? So, Barry, we'll start with you, and then we'll work our way back to Fiona, and then right back around to LaToya.
All right. So I am a realtor in the Denver market. I've been in real estate for 20 years, and also in the process of creating a course for real estate agents. I mentor quite a few different real estate agents right now, but I'm looking to start mentoring agents all around the country. So we're creating a course to be able to start that. You can find me on my real estate website. It's just barryovertonrealtor.com. And if you want to learn more about me and my book, you can go to igniteyourgreatness.com.
igniteyourgreatness.com, said so well. Thanks so much. I certainly appreciate that. Fiona, if you would, please tell us what line of business are you in? and what type of customers do you work with? And then lastly, of course, how can they best connect with you?
Awesome. So I am the CEO and owner of the Ask Group Incorporated, where we pride ourselves on being one company with many solutions. So we help clients with business startup, marketing and branding tips, strategic management, as well as tips and tools to grow revenue year over year, month to month. I deal with clients from small business all the way up to corporate, nonprofit organizations, churches as well, and have launched several businesses under the umbrella of the Ask Group, which has been around for well over 10 plus years. If you want more information, feel free to visit theaskgroupinc.com. You can also, from that website, connect with me via social media and also see any other work I've done, because I'm also a self-published author on the side where I deal with relationship coaching as well. So feel free to look me up there.
Wow. Thank you so much. We certainly appreciate you sharing that. And Latoya, thanks a lot for being here as well. Please tell the audience, what line of business are you in? What type of clients do you serve? And how can they best connect with you over and beyond today?
All right. So I am in the health and wellness business. I am the CEO of Free Spirit Health and Nutrition Wellness Group. I work with women who are exhausted, unhappy, and unsatisfied with who they see in the mirror each and every day. And I help those women find their lives back by showing them those tools or those hacks so that they can be who they want to be versus who others say they should be. You can find me on Facebook at Latoya Carr Griggs. You can also go to my website at latoyacar-griggs.com. You can text tonight at 601-938-7827 to get your free gift. And then also I am a best-selling author, Amazon author in the anthology Finally Free with your amazing Don Lee.
Yes, amazing, incredible. I love it. I love it. I'm going to ask each of them if they would, if they'll take a minute and if they'll share before they give their closing thoughts. I want them to kind of share really one of the ideas, and this is the question. I'll phrase it to all of them at the same time. The question is, of all the mentors you had along this journey of life, and you've had so many mentors, what's one idea did you learn from any of your mentors that you can pass along to the audience? The audience may never meet your mentor, may never know your mentor, but it's an idea that you hold near and dear in your heart. And I know you've had so many, but just pick one. And all we need to know in about 90 seconds is what's the lesson you learned from your mentor, and why is that so important to you right now? If you could do that, that would be great. We'll go back around. Fiona, we'll start with you, and then we'll go to you, Latoya, and then we'll go to you, Barrett. But take about 90 seconds. And you at home, hit the share button. You at home, hit the watch party button. You at home, pay this message forward. Like, pay the message forward right now, because this one idea, and how many ideas do you need to change your life? One. This one idea could change your life. They're getting a lot so far, but they got more. They've got more. They've got more. All right, over to you, Fiona.
Okay, I think the one thing that I have learned from my mentor, the first one will be pray and pace yourself. So, of course, always seek God first for direction, for instruction, and then follow through, and then pace yourself. Don't try to bite off more than you can chew. Don't do too much at once because you can burn out. You can actually cause your body to kind of go into a state of anxiety if you do too much at one time. But to pray and pace yourself. And when you learn to do that, what happens is that the end result is going to always come out far better, because it gives you, because you're not trying to rush to the end goal, but you want to make sure that it's done right. You want to make sure that there's integrity there, that every piece is perfect, that when you bring someone else aboard, when they see what you're doing, and they want to also do the same thing that you are, that you have actually taken the time to put it together well enough to where they can actually accomplish the same things that you have as well. So pray and pace yourself.
Love it, love it, love it. Over to you, Latoya.
All right. So one thing that I learned from my mentor is to make yourself a priority. Always be willing to do self-care. Is nothing wrong with you taking care of yourself first so that you can give everyone else the best of you. And also that I am enough. What I have in me is enough for me to do and to help and to be whatever or whoever I want to be. So being my true, authentic self, walking in my own truth, knowing what I hold and what powers I possess to help others. And that I really know that that is my ultimate purpose here on this earth, is to serve others. So one affirmation that I always use and I love to share, and I'm going to share it with you guys tonight, is I am who I am. I can only be who I can be. I am created for a purpose, and remembering that keeps me free.
Powerful, powerful. I love it. Thanks so much for sharing. Really appreciate it. I love this. It's like one of my favorite questions. I mean, I love to hear what's on people's hearts, so I love it. All right, Barry, over to you, my man.
So one of my mentors was Rod Smith, that used to play for the Denver Broncos. He won 2 Super Bowls with him. We were in a business together. And the best lesson that I learned is always build your brand and represent your brand. And what I learned about brand is there's 3 levels to the brand. See, there's the industry, the overall piece. You have to represent whatever industry you're in. So me being in real estate, I represent the real estate brand, but then there's also the company where I hang my license, which is Your Castle Real Estate. I represent the company brand as well. But the most important brand that goes with me everywhere is me, the Barry Overton brand. And I have to make sure that I also represent that brand. So when you see me on social media or you see me in person, you get the level of representation for all 3 of those brands, that you see that person, you're like, I want to work with that guy, I want to know that guy. So it becomes just very important to represent the brand.
I love it. I love it. Now you've all heard from them. They give you their number one idea, or one idea they learned from their mentor. One of the things that I want to do right now is we want to thank them, one, for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I want to thank each of you who've been out there, who've been watching, who've been tuned in. If you hit the share button, it just takes 2 thumbs, like thumb, thumb, thumb. They're not asking for a Cash App payment today. There's no Zelly needed, by the way. They're here for one reason only, and that is to serve and add value. Serve and add value. So take a moment. How do you give a digital applause? How do you do that? You hit the share button. Like, I know you say, Shay, why do you keep saying that? Because you could bless someone else out there, another little girl or little boy or big girl or big boy that's out there right now. And this message becomes the difference for them. This is their defining moment, like right now. This is exactly what they need to help. So thank you so much for all that have done that. We appreciate that. We're going to now ask them, and at least I've asked them, they could pass, but they, at least I think all agreed, to share their closing thoughts, their closing comments. We know that these lights are going to go out, and some of you are going to be hacking, and some of you got to be bold, and then some of you got to make sure you plan and execute. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts, but they want to leave you with something that's on their heart. And then whatever it is, they're going to share with you. But you first hit the share button, okay? We'll close the way we kind of started. We'll go backwards to have a little fun. So we'll go with Barry first. Then we'll go with Latoya. Then we'll go with Fiona at the end. And they're going to share in about 2 minutes or less. 2 minutes or less. I know you like the less. I like the less too. Don't worry. 2 minutes or less. They're going to share their final thoughts to empower you, to inspire you, and to encourage you. All right, over to you, Barry, my man. Thanks a lot for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show, man. Can't wait to have you back. Love what you're doing out there in the world.
All right, thank you so much. And I'll just close it out by saying one of the first sentences in my book is, the struggle is real, but so is your greatness. Now, we've heard that term, the struggle is real, so often. But when someone says there's greatness in you, we almost want to look at them side eye. We don't want to believe that there's greatness in us. But when I understood that the struggle is part of bringing out the greatness. See, when I'm a go to the gym, I like to lift weights. And when I go to the gym, my purpose in the gym is to take my muscles to muscle failure. I am trying to struggle with the weight because why? Because I get stronger as I continue to lift more weights. And over time, the weights that I couldn't lift 6 months ago, I'm lifting at ease now. And that's because I worked through the struggle and got to a new individual, a stronger individual. And such is life. We do the exact same thing in life. So always remember, yes, the struggle is real, but so is your greatness.
The struggle is real, and so is your greatness. Again, thanks a lot for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show, man. We appreciate it. You're a rock star. Over to you, LaToya. Talk to us.
All right. So since we're starting out with books, so my last and final thought that I want you to remember is self-evaluation is the foundation for lasting self-improvement. And no matter what you're going through, you have to be willing to work on yourself each and every day. You have to be willing to make yourself a priority, make your health a priority, make your opinions, what your life, whatever you decide that is for you, you have to be willing to make that your whole purpose of being your greater or getting to your next level. Don't worry about who's doing what. It is no competition in life. This is your journey. It is your life to live. And once you get delivered from other people's opinions and you know what you really possess and who you are and whose you are, then you can be and will be the best that you can be and a comeback champion each and every day in your life.
The best that you can be. Thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Appreciate all you're doing. It's time to hack it up. It's time to hack it up. I love the hack acronym. Thanks so much for sharing. Okay, over to you, Fiona.
All right. So the theme that's been ringing in this season is to be intentional. Life is going to throw many things at you, good, some bad. But you have to be intentional about your success, about your win, about what you want to happen at the end of the day. And so be intentional, be in purpose and on purpose in all things. Make sure that you set those goals. Make sure that even when something comes at you that is unexpected, in those uncertain moments, that you make the necessary pivots to get you to your destiny.
Make the pivot. I love it. That's one of the things we had to do today. We all had to make the pivot in order to make it happen. I want to thank each of you for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. You have a heart to give. You have a heart to serve. And you played full out. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And thank all of you who are watched. Thank all of you who tuned in. Thank all of you who hit the share button. Those that thought about doing it but didn't do it, but you're here. Part Life is showing up. I want you to know that you're a champion, that you're already a winner. Only winners are here right now. And for you, today, in fact, is your January 1st. You can use the hack methodology and get whatever you want. Today is your January 1st. You can be bold. You can move forward. And today is your January 1st. You can execute the plan that you have. With that being said, put your sunglasses on. I believe your future is bright. And for you, the best is still yet to come. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. With that being said, my name, for anybody that cares, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. But remember this, time is long. Life, on the other hand, is very, very short. So you got to live in that moment, and you got to make it count. God bless, and I wish you success. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you, Fiona. Thank you, LaToya. Thank you, Barrett. I'll see you again soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to go. We out of here. Peace. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Thank you. God bless.